Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special WDSU News Hot Seat. I'm Travers Mackel, working from home. 2020, it's safe to say it's been one of those years. And tonight, we are looking back on all of the big stories that made news headlines during 2020. We're going to cover all of your news, weather, and sports, a look back at the year that was. We're going to begin with one of the biggest stories of our lifetime, coronavirus, not just across the country, but right here in Metro New Orleans. For more on everything dealing with COVID-19, let's go to my colleague, Christina Watkins. Christina.
Well, when COVID-19 first became a thing, I don't think any of us knew just how bad things were really going to get. Louisiana reported its first confirmed case back on March 9th, and since then, it just seemed like it was never going to end as we all watched cases spread across every single parish in Louisiana. The governor then closed schools not too long after the first reported cases, and then days later, well, that came the big one, the statewide stay-at-home order. Every single person across our state forced to stay inside unless they were going out for essential reasons. And throughout this time, we've seen businesses closing, many for good. We've seen musicians who haven't been able to hold shows inside of music venues, so they're doing a lot of things virtually. The hospitality industry is suffering so greatly. Students from K all the way up until college, they've adjusted to virtual learning and then going back to the classroom and then back to virtual learning. It's been a lot for them. And then those in nursing homes, they haven't been able to see their loved ones. They are relying on technology and family members getting creative, going up to the windows of where their loved ones are staying at these nursing homes just to get a little peek because they aren't able to see them face to face because the risk is it's just too high. We saw people losing jobs. They couldn't afford to pay bills. And that led to so many evictions or just fears of that actually happening. So many Travers even relying on unemployment, and they are still having issues to this very day getting their money. Week after week after week, we saw people lining up with food banks, trying to get something to put on the table because for many, if it weren't for those food banks, they would have absolutely nothing. If it weren't for organizations like Second Harvest, as well as city leaders all across our town, many families wouldn't have food if it weren't for them. Let's not forget the reason why we are where we at right now is because hundreds of thousands of people who tested positive since March. Many survived, though those lasting impacts are still great. I remember talking to one gentleman in particular who told me COVID-19 beat him up so badly, he had to learn how to walk again and he had to learn how to talk again. This pandemic, it's just caused all of us so much hurt and so much pain. But overall, I think the one thing that we all can agree on is the most painful part of all of this is seeing how many loved ones died day after day after day after day. I've talked to grieving families who told me their loved one was healthy, perfectly fine, never stepped foot in a hospital before. That was until COVID-19, and then things just went south for them. Many families in those situations didn't even get the chance to spend their final moments with their loved ones because of hospital restrictions. And then on top of that, many families didn't get to have the homegoing services their loved ones deserved because of limitations on crowd sizes and then social distancing. So just so many for these families who now have to figure out how to live without their loved one while we are still in this battle throughout this pandemic. We're all affected by this in some way. And now that a vaccine is here, it's still going to be a little while before we get a little feel of normalcy, I guess you can call it. But while we wait for the vaccines to be available to the general public, whether you decide to get it or not, that is up to you. But regardless, health leaders say what we all should feel right now is just a little bit of hope. Travers?
Christina, thank you very much. One of the other big stories that we all covered in 2020, social justice reform. For more on that and everything that happened nationally and here locally, let's go to Sherman DeSalle. Sherman?
Yes, Travers, this pandemic not only forced us to stay at home, but it also helped us to focus more on the issues of racial injustice and reform in our country in the form of protests, not just across the country, but here in New Orleans. Now, many people in our region, they reacted to the officer-involved death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. The recorded incident that shows the former officer Derek Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck, it created a global outcry for justice. We also can't forget those same cries were heard for Breonna Taylor, a woman shot in her own apartment by Louisville officers who were executing a no-knock search warrant. And while those protests became violent throughout the country, here in New Orleans, they were mostly peaceful, all except for the June 3rd incident, where New Orleans police officers used tear gas to disperse a large crowd of protesters attempting to cross the Crescent City connection. Well, since then, the City Council unanimously passed resolutions calling on the NOPD to create some guidelines to prevent the use of no-knock search warrants and banning the use of tear gas, except in specific life-threatening situations. Now, although those protests resulted in some reform, local officials and protesters both agree that there's still a lot of work to be done. Reporting from my home on the West Bank, Sherman DeSalle, WDSU News.
All right, Sherman, thank you very much. Another big story that we all dealt with and covered in 2020, the weather and the record-breaking Atlantic hurricane season. 30 named storms, that is a record. The previous record set back in 2005 when Hurricane Katrina made landfall. We had 28 named storms that year. We should point out official records date back all the way to the 1850s. 12 storms made landfall in the continental United States. That also sets a record of 9. That happened back in 1916. And we should also point out that 5 storms made landfall in Louisiana this hurricane season. That also breaks a state record. Those 5 storms: Cristobal, Marco, Laura, Delta, and Zeta. Laura is said to be the strongest storm to make landfall in Louisiana in more than 150 years. It devastated southwest Louisiana and the Lake Charles area. A lot of those people that had to evacuate ended up in the city of New Orleans, which, for one of the first times ever, was used as an evacuation site. And we should point out, in October, Hurricane Zeta severely impacted Metro New Orleans, knocking out power to all kinds of areas and parts of the city. It was also the first time an eye passed over New Orleans in almost 50 years. All right, let's talk sports right now. This was a year really unlike any other. It started with the high of highs. LSU winning a national championship in January, but then we had the COVID-19 pandemic, and it has been a real year of highs and lows. For more on a look back at the sports year that was, here's my brother, sports anchor, Fletcher Mackel. Fletcher? Yeah, Travers, just to follow up on LSU, it was one of the most memorable events in Louisiana sports history. The 2019 LSU Tigers, led by Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow and National Coach of the Year Ed Orgeron, without question, one of the greatest, arguably the greatest, college football team in the sports history. Just before the pandemic, we found out that Drew Brees, the Saints star quarterback and the greatest player in New Orleans Saints history, would be returning for a 20th NFL season, his 15 with the Saints. While he wouldn't say 2020 was his last season or was going to be his last season, many believe that once this season ends, Drew Brees will retire from the NFL. He is a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. Then the pandemic hit, canceling events like college baseball, which is so big here in the state of Louisiana, as well as the PGA Zurich Classic, which is truly one of the best events we have here as far as sports goes in the spring. The NBA also had to postpone its season, meaning no sports in March, April, May, in June. The NBA returned in July, and the Pelicans didn't fare very well in the league's bubble, leading to the firing of head coach Alvin Gentry. He's now replaced by Stan Van Gundy, and they have several new players. The Pelicans just tipped off their 2020-2021 season. Because of the ongoing pandemic, only 750 fans allowed in the Smoothie King Center. Let's talk football now. We'll start with the Tulane Green Wave. Tulane just wrapped up its season, 6-6 overall. The Wave fell last week to the University of Nevada in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, but it is worth noting that Tulane played in a bowl game for the 3rd consecutive season, and that is a program record. LSU didn't follow up its national championship with a memorable season. If anything, it was totally unforgettable controversy off the field with social justice and issues involving Title IX. Ed Ogeron's team stumbles to a 5-5 record in 2020. Last week, Coach O fired a slew of assistants and others moved into retirement. So massive changes in 2021 for the LSU football program. The news much better for the New Orleans Saints. The Black and Gold are 11-4 overall. They have won the NFC South for a record fourth consecutive year. The Saints' mantra in 2020, Super Bowl or bust, and it looks like they could get there in 2020. And finally, high school football. Later this week, the 2020 state championships will be played. The games, because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, had to be moved out of the Superdome. They'll instead be played in Natchitoches, Louisiana, on the campus of Northwestern State University. 3 local teams going for state championships. St. Charles Catholic, our alma mater, Travers, the De La Salle Cavaliers, and Powerhouse Carr from Algiers. For the Carr Cougars, if they win, this will be their record 5th consecutive state championship. They will tie John Curtis High School for the most consecutive state championships in Louisiana history. And that's a look at the year that was in sports. Travers, back to you. All right, Fletcher, thank you. Looking forward to 2021 and everything that sports will bring to this area. All right, let's pivot now and go from sports to politics. Here's Randy Russo with a look back at everything that happened politically during the past 12 months. Randy?
So to add to the overall stress and chaos of 2020, the presidential election, politics in America certainly front and center this year as our national and local candidates really took aim at one another. We're not just talking about the campaigning, but let's just speak to the race for the White House first of all. Start off with the very first debate between President Trump and now President-elect Joe Biden. At the time, it was described as a train wreck. Filled with name-calling, insults, interruptions, leaving the viewing public just very concerned over the future of our nation's leadership. And the political landscape itself was just plowed with concerns over the nation's economy, a pandemic, of course, and then racial divide. So with Biden now elected, and we're kind of moving forward here, he has vowed to make his administration the most diverse in history. Also speaking to that history, we see that in our first ever female vice president, Kamala Harris, the first woman of color to hold that position, as well as nominations to various cabinet positions, also Treasury Secretary, Transportation Secretary, the Department of Homeland Security, filled with a diverse group of people. So that was on the national front. Here locally, you had several races garnering headlines, from the Senate race between Bill Cassidy and Shreveport Mayor Adrian Perkins, to the Plaquemines Parish race between Charles Balley and Leo Palazzo for district attorney. That race, by the way, decided by just a little more than a dozen votes, to one of the more high-profile local races, that for district attorney here in New Orleans, a hotly contested race that left Kiva Landrum and also district attorney-elect Jason Williams in a runoff, even as Williams faced an 11-count indictment on tax-related fraud charges. So Landrum, who had served as interim DA during this campaign, put into question Williams's career as a defense attorney, harping on those pending federal charges. Williams, in turn, criticizing Landrum's record as a judge, portraying her as kind of that status quo candidate, so to speak. But in the end, Williams, despite those ongoing court proceedings for his indictment, is now preparing to take the top prosecutor's post here in New Orleans. So in most of this election, all of the elections from the national front to the local front, it really was a numbers game. We saw more people showing up, record turnouts, people registering to vote for the very first time, specifically showing up for that November election. And speaking with those numbers, look at all the recounts that took place across the country to validate that presidential election. And of course, even here locally, as we mentioned with the Plaquemines Parish race, 14 votes separating those two candidates. So what was very interesting with this election, more than any, is the adage that truly every vote really does count. And we saw that more than ever here in 2020.
All right, Randy, thank you very much. Politics always make for big headlines, as we know, across Southeast Louisiana. All right, this was a year where our investigative unit focused on a lot of the big stories during the pandemic and with everything happening across this community. For more on the big investigations that we did during the course of 2020, here's Greg LaRose.
Yeah, Travers, our major stories, our major investigations this year were shaped in large part by the big events of 2020, the pandemic, the elections, the list goes on. Perhaps the biggest impact from our reporting came from a story our colleague Jennifer Crockett broke in Jefferson Parish involving virtual schooling. Second grader Kamari Harrison was recommended for expulsion after his teacher saw a BB gun in his bedroom during an online class. The same thing happened to a sixth grader in Grand Isle. Our coverage led the Louisiana legislature to create the Kamari Harrison Act. It requires Louisiana schools to create new policy for virtual learning. The Jefferson Parish School Board is challenging this new law in court. Another pandemic-related story involved how elections are held in Louisiana. Secretary of State Kyle Ardoin wanted to reach out to more seniors and offer them the chance to vote absentee by mail. A tip to our newsroom discovered that some 300,000 eligible voters were left out of that effort. Ardoin called the omission a simple human mistake. Travers, the story you broke 2 years ago continued to make big news in 2020. It's all about staged automobile accidents. More than 30 people, including a prominent local attorney, were charged for their alleged involvement in a scheme that reaped more than hundreds of thousands of dollars from insurance companies. The story took a real fatal turn this year when one of the defendants, Robert Garrison, was shot and killed in front of his Gentilly home. Sources tell WDSU that Garrison was cooperating with authorities and prepared to become a witness for the feds. The list of stories that we did goes on, and many of them would not have been possible without tips from you, our viewers. If you want to contribute information, it's really easy to do so. You can email us at tips@wdsu.com or call our investigations hotline at 504-679-0606. Travers, back to you.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. Just to point out, all of our investigations that we did over the course of this past year are online at WDSU.com. And just yesterday, we aired a 1-hour special, WDSU Investigates, a look back. That is also on WDSU.com and on all of our social media apps. Well, one of the biggest stories that we covered, one of the biggest events in the city of New Orleans is Mardi Gras. And in 2020, things turned tragic. For more on that, let's go to Aubrey Killian.
Hey there, Travers. So there's no question this carnival season here in New Orleans, it was very busy, full of a lot of highs and a lot of lows too. I want to take you back to the Knicks parade earlier this year. A woman was killed after she was hit by a float. And just a couple of days later, the exact same thing unfortunately happened during the Endymion parade. Right along the parade route, a man was killed after he too was killed by a float. Mayor Cantrell made the decision to actually ban tandem floats for the rest of the carnival season. And fast forward just a couple months to where we are right now. The city really struggled whether or not they were going to, in fact, not have parades roll for the 2021 carnival season. It's something that I asked Mayor Cantrell really a couple times all throughout the pandemic. At one point, she told me that she really didn't even have a crystal ball and it was all going to depend on the data. So she really didn't know throughout the pandemic is what she was telling me. And just a couple weeks and months throughout the pandemic into it, she actually reached out to the public as well as crew captains to ask whether or not how they could effectively do this, if they could even possibly do it with the COVID-19 restrictions. There were some crew captains that decided that there was no way they could do it with COVID-19, but there were a few captains that said and felt that they could, in fact, hold parades. In the end, though, Mayor Cantrell decided that it was not safe enough. She decided that Mardi Gras is not canceled, is what she's saying, just a bit different. Now, keep in mind, the last time anything like this has happened, it was the police strike several decades ago. Mayor Cantrell also, though, did note to me that she is open to the idea of possibly letting parades roll at a later date in 2021, but that is all going to depend on the data and the COVID-19 restrictions in place. So there's still lots to keep following with this story. Of course, we're going to stay on top of it all throughout the year and bring you the latest developments. Travers, back to you.
All right, Aubrey, thank you. Good report. And would like to take this time to thank you all for watching WDSU News and making us your first choice for all of your information as it pertains to news, weather, and sports. As we move into the new year, we want to let you know we will be here with our full team of anchors and reporters covering all the big events that happen in the new year. Thanks for watching The Hot Seat. I'm Travers Mackel.